Recording.
Perfect. Welcome everyone to Six in the Six webinar series for digital transformation. And this is our fourth webinar presented by Peter Haggett. So all these three, all those webinar series are brought to you by Haggett Media, Sonic IT, and Signic Tech. So let me just give you a brief introduction about Peter. Peter is the director of Haggett Media Group, an organization providing business-to-business marketing planning, website development, content, and other strategic business projects. This follows a 30-year career as the editor-in-chief of daily and community newspaper in 3 provinces across Canada. He is a former foundation board member of the North American Media Innovation Organization, the local media association, and it is past president of Scarborough Business Association. He is also a board member of CLL Canada. Peter, floor is all yours.
Well, thank you, Mayank, and I appreciate the introduction. And one thing that I always refer to in the introductions is my time as an editor of newspapers, because back in the day, editors used to uh, create the front pages of newspapers with really little intelligence about their audience. It was, you had 30,000 or 50,000 people buy your newspapers daily, but we really didn't know a lot about them. And then when the internet came along and we all went online, we were amazed to find out that people were more interested in the dancing cat story that we'd put on page 24 than the headline story about city council. And in fact, it was incredible how little some of the stories that we felt were important were actually being read. So after my newspaper career, it really led me to pursue different kinds of platforms where people can get very close to their audiences. So businesses can get close to their clients, they can understand their clients, and they can reach just the people they need to reach. And LinkedIn is certainly one of those platforms. It's a platform of business. It's a platform that, it's unrivaled out in the business community. And I'll show you some numbers to support that here too. So today, this session is about building out your corporate identity on LinkedIn. And I'm trying to change my page here. There we go. So I'm going to talk a little bit about why to use LinkedIn. I'm going to talk about the corporate profile. You're allowed a company page on LinkedIn, which is kind of central to what you do on LinkedIn. It's different, but it serves much of the same purpose as your web page. The difference being, of course, it's not as robust, perhaps, but it also is a go-to point for those who are already on LinkedIn, who you've reached out to. We're going to talk about making other people marketers on your behalf, because that's an important part of your corporate profile. And we're going to talk about LinkedIn Navigator, which is really helpful for lead generation for your corporation as well. So why LinkedIn? You can see by these charts that LinkedIn is the use of LinkedIn spread globally. So whether your company is local, provincial, national, global, that you will find an audience on LinkedIn. And this is a little bit of an old chart. LinkedIn now has probably about 740 million people on LinkedIn. You can see here that while it's registering 191 million in North America, Asian Pacific, there's even more people. And Europe and Latin America are all registering more than 100 million people. So it's really spread across the globe fairly easily, or fairly evenly, but certainly robust on all continents. 91% of business leaders rate LinkedIn high on the return of investment. The time and investment is time spent as much as money, and time spent is what really the things we talk about today. We won't get into paid services so much, but we'll refer to them. 80% feel it's very most effective network for B2B lead generation, and we'll certainly talk a little bit about that. The LinkedIn audience skews a little bit male, and that may just be just because, you know, right or wrong, that so much of management these days here and in other countries still remains to be male. Um, but it skews fairly evenly across all age groups as well, 30 to 40, 20 to 30, 50 to 60. So you get a fairly good reach on all accounts when you use LinkedIn. So the corporate profile, which is what we'll talk about first, the corporate profile or your company page. Again, it's really a hub. It's really an information hub. People will refer to that page for more information about your company, and we'll talk about how to build that page out. It's the place where um, staff and partners will refer to when they're talking about your company while on LinkedIn. It's the place where other people who are looking for a service might refer to if they're looking for a certain service on LinkedIn. It's a place where job seekers will find out more about an individual company if they're thinking of applying or they're serious about working for a company. And it's also a place where you and your leads can get together and you can provide, when you approach somebody, you can actually steer them to that corporate profile, or they will steer themselves there, probably more accurately. So it's essential to your mix. The other thing to remember about corporate profile is if you don't have one, chances are your company could end up with one of those LinkedIn generated pages. You see it elsewhere with other platforms that generates a page with your company name, although there's no information. Now, you want to make sure that you are the one who claims that company page, because the worst thing that could happen would be one of your disgruntled employees, for instance, taking over that automatically generated company page and then posting whatever they want, and you've got no access to that page. So again, they somewhat force your hand, and you see this on other platforms as well. So this stuff is this is probably our last slide here. These are the things that you'll be able to build on your corporate profile that are important. Of course, the header. The header is your opportunity to have a photo, have a little bit of more succinct information about your company. You can also talk about the company in a little bit more depth, give a little bit of statistics, give sort of that mission statement. This is a place where your posts on behalf of the company will reside. You can post jobs on your corporate profile. If you are someone who does a lot of hiring, there's actually a paid service where you can buy a paid service that you can promote what life is like at your company. You can talk a lot about your company culture, and larger companies do that. And I'll show you some examples. The people tab, that's really reserved for larger companies. That's a case where it's it will tell you who comes to that, who works at that company. And for larger companies, that can be really good because it can help you narrow down exactly who you want to speak to at that company. Insights is auto-generated, and Insights is for the premium LinkedIn users who pay for the service. Really, it's again larger companies. It tells you things like where most of the employment is, if employment is going up and down, might give you an insight into the health of a company. Your corporate profile can promote your events that you post there and the events where you'll be able to invite people to. Videos, of course, we all know the popularity and the importance of videos in social media these days as a magnet. You can post a lot of videos. And affiliated pages. Affiliated pages I really like for some cases. An affiliated page is really a secondary page within your LinkedIn corporate profile. You can use the affiliate page any way you want, but primarily it gets used if you have a specific service you want to focus on and break out with more information. It could be a specific product that you want to break out. You can do an affiliated pages for an event, an affiliated page for an event as well. So now we're going to get to the good stuff. We're not going to worry about PowerPoints. We're going to go right to corporate profiles here. And I want to show you a few of them just so you have an idea of how these come together. So this is Coca-Cola. This is one of the best corporate pages out here. And what makes this the best corporate page? Because they use the variety of tabs. And by the way, you're not going to want to use all the tabs, of course, but I want to show you how it all comes together and your different options. One thing that Coca-Cola does very effectively is with their top block here, they give you little snippets of the company. They give you sort of life. They create, see all the people in these photos. They're happy people, and it's a good message that Coca-Cola is part of life in many different ways. Use this top block effectively with a photo. The photo can just be a photo, but the photo can also have a message in there. You know, if you have a corporate slogan or something, or if there's a service that you particularly offer or want to promote, you can just put that over your photo. Put it on your image before you upload it, and then again, use that space to the greatest advantage, because photo space, excuse me, photo space is prime real estate and important real estate. Just like your personal profile, you've got the name of the company, and I love how they just have a very simple message: refresh the world, make a difference. Refresh the world, make a difference. That's great. We tend to love to put too much information everywhere we can. I love the simplicity of their message. And you can see that this is a successful page with 6 million followers. I'll warn you, it's really tough to get followers of your page. You can solicit them, but it's one of those pieces where you have to grow with time. It's used much more for just a referral than to have people constantly follow you. A little tab that may or may not be of consequence, but it tells me how many people from my school works for Coca-Cola. And where this does come into play is if I'm looking for an introduction, maybe one of these 12 people can introduce me to someone at Coca-Cola who I need to talk to. On the very first page, you can see there's sort of all of these posts. This is sort of a microcosm of everything within this page. So you do have a video. You have a lot of videos here. Oh, I'm on the video tab, that's why. So I'm going back to the home. You can see the about, and then you can go right into the about tab right here, of course. And the about, it's a very short message. I consider 3 or 4 paragraphs ample in that message. And it gives some of the larger pieces of information that's important to people. In a company like this, of course, you've got maps and things like that, which tell people about the company. Well, the overview page will probably have posts after the about. And here are page posts. So I'm going to go to the post directly. Again, you don't have to go direct if you just want to see the overview page. But this is very interesting, the type of posts. I pulled this page because I wanted to show you the different types of posts, to give you some ideas of what you could and should be posting on your own corporate page. So Coca-Cola is welcoming a new vice president of global affairs. It's a new employee. If you have a new employee, this is a great opportunity to show them a little bit of love and to promote them and preview them to the world. Here, this one, if I recall, this is sort of a mission statement. This is a Coca-Cola mission statement of where they are, and nothing's changed. We're pursuing our goals, and we've shown great resolve, and we're with you. On this one, this is talking about diversity and Coca-Cola's diversity mission and values. Again, very important for a company like this. Very important for every company, but very important for them to show this. So you see these kinds of postings. So it's a little bit of everything in their posts. Now anybody can put jobs, if you have jobs, anybody can put a job, post a job for free on your corporate page. Now, you can do that. I find just in experience, when you post a job for free, you probably get about 10% of the resumes or the traffic that you would if you did a paid posting. It's just the way it is. Of course, they want you to do a paid posting, but you can put that job on there for free. Now the Life tab here, this is the paid service, and this is a company. If you're a company where you want to show the culture, so some IT companies, even small ones, might take advantage of a feature like this. These three internal pages, you can put whatever headers you want on there, and they can refer to different or the same posts, little posts like little blog posts, employee testimonials. You have a number of options you can put on that page. It's a really interesting page if you're one who solicits email, or if you solicit resumes all of the time. I really like this, and they give you format options as well. Now the people tab, this is basically showing who works for your company. It gives you some great names. If it's a larger company, this is sometimes helpful to help you pin down exactly who you should talk to. If you're searching for someone within a company and you come on their corporate page, it also shows you things which may or may not be relevant, where people live and where they went to school. And and you can see this expands as well. It really shows this is a global company. CEO of Coca-Cola Company. I guess that's important. He doesn't share his name here. I guess he's got enough to do. The people you are in the know, these names tend to be what they call decision makers. So these would make them management names. These would be key names that you may want to search in their experience. Insights, this is a paid part. This is if you have LinkedIn Navigator or a pro account or something. This just tells you a little bit more about a company, a larger company, if it's growing or shrinking. To me, that's the only interesting. If do I want to be involved in a company that's falling off the cliff? Maybe, depending on what I'm doing for them. And employee distribution. What are the key areas of this company's operation? And are those growing or shrinking? Are they hiring or not? And some people who've gone elsewhere from Coca-Cola. These are second and third. Sometimes these people are good to talk to because for some reason they left Coca-Cola. They can say, oh, you wouldn't believe it, it's horrible. Or they can say, oh, it's a great experience. It got me where I am today. So I'm thrilled to have been part of Coca-Cola. And again, LinkedIn really evolves around the personal relationships that are built. It's not stiff and corporate, but the personal relationships and the personal reach outs are the important part about LinkedIn, always to think about job openings and such. And videos, of course, this just corrals all the different Coca-Cola videos that they have. And you can see there's quite a number. Important if you're researching about a company, if you're looking for a company, it's important again to show people what your company's all about. This isn't a paid portion. This is something you can do at any time. That's Coca-Cola. That's one example. I'm going to show you, and these affiliate pages, these are the side pages. I'm going to show you another company who uses these side pages very well. So Coca-Cola CCI, I suppose that's the Turkish Coca-Cola company. And you can see they got a little bit more information. They should have structured it the other way around on it so we could actually read what the banner says. But they obviously have a different operation, and it talks a lot about CCI, Coca-Cola CCI here. But again, this is a different division. So it would be a affiliated page that they've created. Here's another company example, and this is a very good one as well. This is L'Oreal, leading in beauty and pioneering the world of beauty tech. Now they don't have anything here, but they have a soft representative background, and they purposely chose this background to set a mood. You can tell it's not the green dotted background, the blue dotted background we often see, right? So again, 5,000 or 3,000 followers to this company. Here they post a lot of jobs as well. They have their affiliated pages on this side. Affiliated pages, and so their foundation, that's a great page, that's a great opportunity to talk about who you are. And you can see the header here for women in science, foundation for women in science. And what better picture to prove the point than this one right here. One thing to keep in mind, when you have your corporate page, this is the only place that will actually take you to your actual website. On your personal profile, you will see your name, but when you click on the name of the company, it will come to your corporate page first, and you have to activate this button to visit the website. But very important to do so, because your website, no doubt, is much more robust than your LinkedIn profile. And you may have other things that you want to promote rather than just what's here. I want to show you, I am going to show you the back end of a corporate page here. I'm going to show you the back end of this page. So with LinkedIn and the corporate pages, it doesn't mean you have to work the page. For instance, you can hire a company to do these kinds of things for you. This is one thing I do for companies. You can have a staffer do this for you. You can have a part-timer. You can do anything you want. You can name different administrators for this page. And this is a very important tool. This is your drop-off point. This is your point for doing and creating any of the things we spoke of. I want to emphasize on this page and your corporate page, you'll always, if you're an administrator, you'll see this up here, this button, and it'll either say view as member or view as administrator. And that's really important, because sometimes you look at the page and you get frustrated and you're not sure why you're seeing what you're seeing, because you want to see actually the other view of the page. So you can flip to see what the page looks like to members. And this is what this page looks like to members. And then, okay, you understand where you are, because we're more familiar, of course, with seeing the front end of pages than the back end. So when you want to work as an administrator, then you hit that view as administrator button. And you have different levels of administration. I'm a super administrator, so that's telling me it's a super admin view, meaning I can see everything behind the scenes here. You can see, you can invite connections to like your page. You can search by name. You can click on every one of your connections to like your page if you want. This is simpler than doing personal invites to like your page and to tell people about your page. Really, for the most part, the people you're closest to, I would do a personal invite, because you're more likely to get a personal response. And you can see that monthly, you're allowed to do this with 100 people. You're allowed to get 100 people an invite to like your page. But again, you get more response when you reach out to Mark and say, hey, Mark, I have a new page. Would you mind liking it for me? Or see what you think of it, and then see if they like it. It's up to them to like it. I wouldn't even ask them to like it. I'd say, please go on my page and see what you think about it. I'd love the feedback. And you can say, and I'd love it if you like the page, depending on the person, whether you feel you could say that or not. But obviously, when somebody likes a page, that means it'll show up within their feed. You've seen in your own news feed pages that you know nothing about, but it says up top, Bill Smith, your connection likes this page. So that's why it is important to get people to like your page. It's just hard and you have to work at it. So inviting connections, sponsoring an update. This is again paid service, and we're not going to worry too much about that today. But what this is if you have a post, or if you have essentially an ad that you want to appear in the right hand side of various pages, just like a Facebook, something else, you can set up an ad account here and you can do paid advertising. I find LinkedIn paid ads, I work a lot in the tech sector, LinkedIn paid ads do okay. They're okay. They can be expensive, but they do okay. Post a free job, as I mentioned. You can see the back end is very much the same as when you work your personal page. Now, one thing I don't like about LinkedIn sometimes is, oh, okay, it was okay because I was in here earlier, but it may ask you to sign in again. It may ask you to sign in again because essentially this is a different service, but it's within the LinkedIn family. I don't know why they do, but they'll make you ask to sign in again sometime. So you can see they're going to walk you through what that job may be and give you all the, and let you do all the information that you need. All right, I'm just going to leave that for now. Create an event. An event's an interesting one as well, because just like the other social medias, you can create a business event on here as well. And you can supply all the details, and then those business events will appear in your right-hand row. So here's an event right here, get connected. And this was in June, he had this event of last year, I suppose. Well, no, it's not that one. Discard. And when this event's a live event, okay, it would have to be a live event. When this event's a live event, it'll bring the event up here and you can invite your people the same way as you could invite people to like your page. There's an invitation on there as well. And there is a maximum you're allowed to invite. Now, when you put an event on your news feed, you're going to find, I think the number is 5 to 8% of, it'll appear in 5 to 8% of your contacts news feed. And then the algorithm, if they see people respond with likes or what have you, then it will open it up to a greater number of people from your list of contacts. So there's a little bit of a limit on profile there. With the events tab, you can send it out to everyone you want and quite quickly. Those will show up in their My Network tab. So if they follow their My Network tab, the event, it'll say, you know, Sam invited you to this event. And then you can click in and see it. So events is relatively new to LinkedIn. I'm not sure it's as powerful as they would like it to be yet, but I wouldn't hesitate. I would use LinkedIn events. There are certain advantages as well. You can, of course, here's where you can manage your administrators. So you can invite someone else to be an administrator of a page through here by adding an administrator, and that can be any of your LinkedIn contacts. You can see this page, there's 3 administrators to this page. So this is your page, and your page is, this is your page, and we're going to view it as a member. And again, this is sort of the signpost. This is the web page equivalent on LinkedIn that you're going to want to put together. Now, you can post on here, but it's much, much better when you want a corporate post to post from your personal, because it has a greater reach. Again, it's those personal connections that are important. If you post from your personal site, and then you can share it on this page. I tend to post both places, but you can share it on this page to make sure it's on the corporate page. But you do get better reach posting a corporate thing first from your personal account. To make, let me go to I'm going to go to my personal piece. Now, to make your corporate page successful and your corporate identity on LinkedIn successful, you'll want your employees to do a few things as well. You want to make sure that in your corporate, in their personal profile, that they've got a link to your company. This will take you to the company corporate page. You want to make sure that link's available. You want to make sure that if you have, here's another place within a personal profile that can help enhance your company image. If you have a, excuse me, if you have an upcoming webinar, if you have a PowerPoint, if you have a blog that talks about the company or that features something or is presented by the company, it can reside in this feature post here. And this feature post is relatively new, but really of all your activity, this is something that will stay there until you say it doesn't stay there. And this is a way that an employee can help promote your company. As well, we have an about on our personal profile. That about on the personal profile, there are many ways to match that up to make sure that the same goals in the personal profile are the same goals as the company profile. This says that you're in sync. You're in sync with your company, and the company is in sync with its employees. So that's a very interesting nuance that you might want to take advantage of, just to hammer home the point about the company and the employees' engagement. Your activity as an individual speaks a lot to who you are. So again, it's really up to your employees, and you really need to set up a system within your company where if your company influencer, say it's the CEO of your company, does a post, that everyone in that company knows about that post and they can like it and they can share it, because every time that's shared, that's shared to a whole new group of individuals, and it just extends the reach of the company's post. Here, it's good if you have some recommendations of your service with the company. It's good to stick it in your recommendations as well. Again, it talks about your commitment to the company, your being in sync with the mission, and the good work that you do for your own reputation, but also for the company. So those are just a few pieces of your personal profile that you can do to enhance the company's profile as well. And I work a lot with software companies, and what I'll do is I'll go in and I'll help them build a corporate profile, but I'll also train their individual staffers the best way to create their personal profile. Because if their personal profile looks professional, that's so much better than people with poor profiles. It speaks to the person, it improves the person's image, but it improves the company's image to have a person take this seriously. As I mentioned, the importance of having a good background photo for your company profile. You can do the same thing with the individuals who work with the company. They can talk about their company experience here as well. Or it can be the same message as the company is exuding on their profile. What I'll tell companies is build 3, 4, 5, 6 different messages and rotate them one every month. The beginning of every month, rotate that header photo and provide your staff, if you're that if you built a good enough system, provide your staff with a new header photo for their websites as well. So that's a little bit about how your personal profile can enhance your company profile, and both the person and the company are winners. The last thing I want to show you today is Sales Navigator. And Sales Navigator is a paid service. I believe it's $70 US a month. And this is a lead generator. And I want to show you a few little tips about the Sales Navigator tool. If it comes up for me, here we go. So you can see that Sales Navigator has its own little list of how you do things. And it's always changing too. It's changing all the time as well. So I have to get used to new features at times. Okay, so here we are in the Sales Navigator. And your most important tool in your Sales Navigator is your searches, your ability to search, your ability to pin down who you want to pin down, and the ability to follow people and profiles that you're interested in. So for instance, I'm here, this is the alert when any of the people who I've identified as a lead or an account does something on LinkedIn. And I do this because I may want to comment on it, or it may be related to something I'm doing. So for instance, I do a little work for an electrical contractor. So I have a lot of managers of condos here, or I have a lot of different electrical companies here. And I'm always interested in what they're doing because I may have a solution for them, or I may have an answer to a problem that they have posted. So for instance, this is a condo manager. This one is a fellow who works for lighting who I've had discussions with. Some other people, here's another residential property manager, and a few of those. And this is a fellow Power Platform. I do some recruiting and I'm looking for Power Platform capable IT people. So I follow some of these people to see where they're going and what they're doing. So I find all these people again from the search filters. And if you go to the all filters, you'll see you have a number. You have a number of searches here. So say I'm doing a campaign for somebody and I want to find restaurant managers. Say I'm selling bamboo boxes for takeout. So this is an ecologically sound takeout container. So I want to find restaurant managers for Scarborough, say, or Toronto, we'll say. So I can put in a keyword if I want here. I'll put in restaurant. I'll put in restaurant manager. I can do it by geography here. So I'm going to just say, I don't think it'll let me say Scarborough. Although, no, it won't. Although you can see that I can put in a postal code. Postal code. I can do it by postal code if I want. But for this purpose of this, I'm just going to put Toronto. So Toronto, Ontario. So Toronto, Ontario restaurant managers. I don't care what school they went to. I don't know their names. I do want to have a decision maker. So I just want to hear from the owners. I just want managers and owners and directors, VPs, just senior positions I'm going to search today. And you can see right over here on the right-hand top, it's telling me how big my result pool is. That's still a very big number, which sometimes you want a real refined number to work with, and sometimes you want a lot of people. Company filters, I don't care what company they're from. I don't care what groups they belong to. Sometimes groups is an important piece. Content keywords, company head count. So company headcount, I'm going to talk to smaller restaurants today. So I'm just going to talk to restaurants who identify with uh, this kind of a head count. I'm going to add a title. I want a current title, manager. I'm going to say that, although it may conflict with my other. I'm going to say general manager. And now I'm down to, because I put the general manager in there, I'm down to 207 people. So I'm going to do my search now and see what it comes up with. So now I have general managers at restaurants in Toronto who I might approach. This one doesn't look like it, but who I might approach about buying my bamboo takeout containers. So say I like this and I want to approach Joseph here. So my first, you're not selling right away. The first thing I would do, I would come into here and I would ask him to connect. I would simply say, we're in the same business or we're in the same space. We don't know each other, but we're in the same space. And I thought it'd be nice to connect. And I would send that invitation. You're only allowed, I think, 30 words or something up here. So make it brief to the point. I'd be upfront about not knowing each other. So it doesn't feel like spam. It feels like you're trying to make a personal connection. And then you'll find that if you do this all the way down your list, it'll probably let you do about 70 a day connections, 70 a day if you're not an avid LinkedIn user. So you can go through that list. You're going to find a certain percentage of them will link into you. When they do link into you, after you send, actually, this will say message on here. And when they do link into you, then I would send a message that would talk a little bit about the company. I might even wait till a third step before I say, I got these bamboo containers. I think it'd be great for you. But you might take a second step just to tell them about the company. So you can do this through your whole list of these people who you have, you've really refined. They have some kind of an interest in your field. And you have to play with these a little bit to make sure you get the right filters and the right relationships company, all these right filters to get the exact list you want. One thing that I will point out, sometimes people have changed jobs in the past 90 days. This may be an important list to look at because this could be new managers that you want to be introduced to. Posted on LinkedIn in the past 30 days. What this means is they're very active LinkedIn users, so they're more likely to respond to you, shared experiences with you. They could have gone to your school. You could have worked at the same place. There's any kind of, it's some kind of a relationship with you. And that can be a jumping off point for a conversation with the people. So this is a good way to, and of course, when you start talking about your company, what are they going to do? They're going to go to your LinkedIn page. They're going to type it into the left-hand side, into the search, and they're going to look up you. They're going to look up your page. And that's what you've been doing this for. Again, I think with the Sales Navigator, you're allowed a 2-week free. So I would take the 2-week free and I'd play with it a little bit. I'd knock my brains out actually finding those right people, because this is a great opportunity for finding those managers you didn't even know were out there that you need to contact. But this is a very efficient system. I promoted jobs through here. I've promoted events through here. I've simply promoted companies and company services through here. And it does work. It does work. So those are 3 tools. Obviously, your corporate page, how a personal page can interact with your corporate page for best results, and how you can use Sales Navigator for leads for your company in your selling of your services and products. With that, I will turn it back over to Mayank if there are any questions.
Thank you, Peter. Thank you very much for the wonderful presentation. Yeah, so I have one here. So I'll go back, initially when you were explaining about corporate account for a company. So you mentioned about background pictures, like you were discussing about Coca-Cola,
Yes.
picture, and they have picture and they have any message. So I'm just trying to understand in terms of a small business, what all ideas or any guidelines that as a small business we can use. So for example, I'm using background picture on my company as the picture which I'm using on my website. It's just to, give a correlation to a person. Maybe he's visiting my LinkedIn page, then he's going on website, so he can correlate, okay, this is the background picture. So and any guideline or anything, that helps to even for brand recognition, or they can pass on the message for their service just looking at the, profile.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea the way you're doing it. This, I now on the screen, I have the Women in Science. This is one of the affiliated pages for L'Oreal.
Hmm.
They've taken great pains to make sure that that top, that the top photo tells a story, right? It's for Women in Science. They're telling the story with the women right there. I can show you another company I'm going to pull up. This company is a portable CRM, Fresco.net. And this is a company I worked with in Slovakia. And you can see here, it's a portable CRM system and state-of-the-art mobile solutions. You can see you've got company members working on that solution right there on a tablet. And then they have a little bit of verbiage of dress code inspections for industry verticals. This is a little bit of a product message. So obviously these guys are doing an inspection with, and they're using the tablet to do the inspection, to record the inspection. So this is a good example of using that background photo to make the most out of that space.
Perfect. Perfect. That makes sense. Okay, another problem, as a small business owner, while running LinkedIn page is to come up with an idea for posts. That, is uh, a difficult task to, like Coke, like again, I'll refer to your Coca-Cola example.
Right.
There are many topics like social impact, and, they can pick up from something, which impacts the world. But I'm not sure how good or how smart it would be for a small business, to look after social impact. Again, their outreach is not that great. So I don't know. Does it make sense to do that way?
So I think that page is representative of how you do. I don't think you need to be posting things 3 times a day.
Hmm.
Certainly not the same as the larger companies may do. I think that Coca-Cola page had 3 posts on it. I think you want to make sure that key things related to your business, and a small company may only have 3 employees, so a lot of things aren't going to be relevant there. But one things you can post, if you choose to, you could post new relationships with new companies. We're proud to be supporting company A, you know, and or new services that you're offering. I think you need enough that, even if you posted one thing every couple of weeks, that would be good, or one thing, even one a month, if that's what you can do. But I think the consistency is the important factor.
Perfect. That makes sense. And I'm looking at your window right now, like this particular page, resco.net. So I also have a page like this, but I don't have all the tabs like videos. I see here videos, and again,
Right,
you were talking about Coca-Cola. They have
right,
a tab that's called Life.
right.
Something needs to be done, or does it come with maturity of the page, or do you spend time? I don't know.
There are a couple of factors, and I'm not sure which, that are rollouts from the last 6 months, and they haven't reached everybody yet. So I'm not sure if videos, for instance, is that tab. They have chosen not to use the life tab here. That's the life is a paid service. Uh,
Okay.
you can probably access. I wonder if you access it through here. Or sorry, I've just lost it. But um, Oh, just let me go into here and see.
I think bigger companies have it. If it's a paid service, I see Adobe also have live.
Yes, I think though that video is accessible when you just it may be accessible here to put something in video. I'm not sure. Either here.
Or maybe you post some video after that, it shows up automatically. Maybe that it happens
It
that way.
could very well be that. It could very well be that. I just don't remember offhand, but it could very well be that. And then automatically, because it is one of those things that doesn't, I think you're right, actually. I think it's one of those things that it doesn't appear unless there's something to activate it.
No, if you see at the bottom where it says start a post, it says photo, video, document, poll.
Yes,
And maybe if we post a video, then it might show up, maybe.
I think you're probably right. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's all about it. That's all I have for today.
Okay, well, thank you. Thank you for this. This has been great.
Perfect. Thank you very much. And thanks everyone for joining. So make sure to come for our 5th webinar, Making Paid Ad Work for You on Social Media, done by Sam from Sonic IT. Yeah, that's about it for today. Let's see you next week.
And please make sure to link into me.
Sure.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye-bye.